We did not stick to one career. I have worked in the corporate sector for 5 years. I was not happy in the corporate sector. So I said, let me try my hand. I tried my hand in this teaching.
Hi everyone, my name is Ritik. I welcome you to the YouTube channel of Mediacell, Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics. In this video, we have interviewed another professor of Department of Commerce, Delhi School of Economics, that is Professor Shital Jhunjhunwala. She is a distinguished professor at Faculty of Commerce and Business. She is a fellow member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. She is a cost accountant and a management graduate from IIM Calcutta. With a wealth of experiences accumulated over more than 25 years, she seamlessly merges her extensive industry and academic knowledge to bridging the gap between theory and practical application.
For the past 2 decades, she has dedicated herself in the field of research and teaching in the field of corporate governance, cost management accounting, valuation of intangible assets and management accounting. Professional development of the corporate directors and executives through the conception and execution of the training programs endeavor to foster a deeper understanding and proficiency in the key areas of strategic decision making, cost management and corporate governance critical to effective corporate leadership.
Jhunjhunwala is frequently invited to chair sessions at corporate training events and faculty development programs, and she usually delivers talks to management students across the country. Given her profound research insights on corporate governance, she was specifically called upon to evaluate doctoral theses by renowned universities of Australia and New Zealand. Recognized internationally for her contributions, she was among the 6 delegates selected nationwide to participate in IVLP, a think tank program by the US government.
As the founder editor of the Indian Journal of Corporate Governance, a Scopus and the ABDC Index Journal, she has played a pivotal role in shaping the discourse on corporate governance. Prolific writer, her books The Diversity and the Effective Corporate Board and the Corporate Governance, the Creating Value for the Stakeholders by the reputable international publishers have been recognized globally. Presented papers at several international conferences including USA, Venice, Malaysia, Singapore and India, where she had the opportunity to exchange her valuable insights with the
So could you please share a pivotal incident from your life that served as a turning point and how it contributed to shaping the person as you are today?
It would be very difficult to identify one specific incident. Over the period, different incidences have had different impact. For example, when I was about your age, I was studying for CA, and I thought if I qualify for CA, if I become a chartered accountant, my life is made. That is the end of it. So when I completed my CA, I was very happy. But after a few days, that faded out. It's like, what next? Where's the job? So then a different realization. So at each stage of my life, different incidences and different experiences have shaped my life. The birth of my daughter brought in a maternal instinct. So from a very professional, aggressive career, I moved, family started becoming important. Then again, of course, lockdown has changed my perspective completely. I've come to value family over anything else. I've also realized how important it is to look at other people's point of view whenever taking a decision. So I think I would not be able to pinpoint any one incident. Again, similarly, I lived in Singapore for a year. So there I came to really understand the importance of living in your own country. Because in Singapore, no matter how well you are doing, they always treat you like a second-class citizen. So you're always an outsider. Whereas when you come back when the moment I came back to India, I fell down on the footpath. Because I was used to a very smooth footpath, and the footpath was all broken up. Delhi is completely little better, but we lived in Hyderabad, so it was all broken up. And I immediately fell because I'd forgotten that this footpath is bad. But even then, in your own country, you are your boss. Even if they're putting you in jail, it's like, it's my country, I can do anything. But then you were different. It made you realize how it is to live in a different country and not in your own country. So at different stages of my life, different things have influenced how I've taken it up.
That's great.
So in the light of widespread perceptions that the questions asked in the PhD interviews tend to be so intricate. So what methods do you suggest to deal with the same?
One is, I think, if you are planning to pursue a PhD, you must choose your topic well in advance so that you can do enough reading on the topic, so that you are well versed with the topic. Because generally in an interview, we will ask you questions on whatever topic you are recommending. So you must be very thorough on the topic, but that you are particularly doing, which means you need to read a lot of that. Specifically, you need to identify good journals and read those recent articles. Again, back to the previous question, if you have done a small project on that, which is why MPhil students generally do well in the interview, because they have already done one research on a connected topic. So if you have done a small project, if you have published a small paper already, then you would be comfortable enough to be able to answer those questions, because you need to really know the subject very well. So if I'm asking you which variables are going to affect your model, why you have chosen a particular variable, unless you've done a significant research, you would not be able to answer that question. One way of solving that problem would be to do a small SLR, that's a literature review, systematic literature review, which would automatically force you to read all the papers. So if you read all the relevant papers, then you would be able to answer any question that is thrown upon you.
So, ma'am, apart from research project, research proposal, what recommendation will you give? Which type of questions can come in PhD interview apart from research projects?
Generally, two types of questions come. One is whatever topic you have chosen, we'll ask questions. Second, questions generally come on research methodology, because unless you know research methodology, you would not be able to answer. So we may ask questions like, what are the different ways of collecting data?
Yes.
So what is sampling method? Or we may ask you something on regression. So again, generally, even the research methodology, the questions that we asked would be depending on what research proposal you have brought. So if the research proposal requires, if you have written, I'm going to use random sampling, then we will ask you what is random sampling. So generally, we ask questions very specific to whatever you have written in your proposal. So if you are well prepared for your proposal, you should be able to answer it. So if you have mentioned I'm going to use regression, then we will ask you what is regression. Mostly. So mostly our questions are very closely linked to whatever you have written in your proposal.
So, ma'am, what key considerations or insights do you believe a student should be aware of before commencing their journey into PhD field?
I would recommend that students do a small research project themselves before moving into the PhD, because it's a very time consuming effort, requires a lot of self-commitment. Unlike what you have, students are typically used to an exam or teachers pushing you. A PhD is very self-motivating activity, and from my experience, I have seen that most of the research scholars, halfway through the process, they start getting frustrated, because it's a very long time, it requires a lot of commitment. So I think a good thing would be for students to do a small research project, which would take 3 to 4 months before they think about actually moving into PhD. So that would give them an idea as to whether they are really suitable, or would it really make them comfortable doing a PhD. So I mean, that's what I would generally recommend students to do.